Welcome to another Igloo imaging tutorial. This is going to be a short one on neon effects in Illustrator CC. This is 2018, but it works for a few versions backwards. I've seen a couple of different methods for this, and a lot of the time it's Gaussian Blur as part of the effect. There is an alternative and it's a little bit quicker, but I'll let you be the judge which one is better. So let's get started. First thing, let's get rid of this stuff over here, and we're going to drop all this stuff here, and background, going to get rid of it. So the first thing we're going to do, these are the three colours we're going to need. That one's a white stroke. Let's just see what size artboard we're working on. 3840 pixels by 2160 pixels. It's quite big, but you can choose whatever size you want. If you want to work alongside this tutorial, then set it to those sizes. So the first one we want is a gradient, a radial gradient. So draw yourself a square, and under the gradient tool you'll see the gradient window here. If you can't see it, go up to window and gradient, and one end, my color values are on CMYK, yours might be RGB. Just hit this little burger here and change it to CMYK if you want to follow this one. So I've got around 80% cyan, 64% magenta, no yellow, and 34% black, and that gives you that internal blue. The slide is on about 42%, and the color up at the top is 74 cyan, 21 magenta, 11 yellow, and 100 black. So it's a real dark black. And if you click the gradient tool, you'll see that the gradient I've just shifted to be slightly in the frame. This just gives us our background color. So that's that one. The next one is a stroke, just a white stroke, literally nothing else. The stroke weight is around 10 pixels. And the next one is another stroke. This is important. This is the shortcut rather than using multiple Gaussian blur layers. This again is a stroke, but this time when you click on the stroke, put the weight to about 75 pixels and then click on gradient. And what this will do, it will apply a gradient. Normally what you'll start out by seeing is something weird like that. Okay, but if you look at these stroke options here, you've got apply gradient within the stroke, apply gradient along the stroke, or apply gradient across the stroke. And that's the key one, across the stroke. So click that, and your left hand color is just 12% cyan up there. Your next color is around 35% along location, and it's 100% cyan. And then your next far right color is your blue from before, so 100% cyan, 65 magenta, 0 yellow, and 47 black. But you'll want to switch the opacity on this one to 0. Normally it'll be 100, okay? So when you switch it to 0, it just blends out to 0, so that's mimicking that Gaussian blur effect. So once you've got those three, let's get started. Draw a big square in your background, and you want to color drop. So press I and color drop this first one. Let's hit the gradient tool and the gradient tool and bring this in. Drag this in a bit, drag that one out a bit. So what this does is just give you the glow of what the neon would project onto a background wall. You can drop in some images of bricks or whatever it is, you know, to make your effect. We might do that at the end. So the next thing we can do is press T for text. In fact, let's select that background with V, and then just press Command 2 to lock it, so we can't select that by accident now. So press T, and let's type in neon, and we're going to make it, let's say 300. Let's make it bigger, so let's drag it out. So with V, you're going to drag, but you're going to hold Shift and Alt. Make it nice and big. You can make it literally whatever font you want. The one I like is Bebas New, or however you say it. but it doesn't matter. Pick any font that's nice and chunky because we're going to convert it to outlines now. So you've got your shape and you want to convert it to outlines. So Command-Shift-0. That makes it into shapes. You can no longer edit this text, okay? So it's just shapes. So select it with V. And over here you've got your fill and your stroke color. So select nothing for the fill color. And on the stroke, so if you just click between the two, select the stroke, and you're going to press I, color dropper, and this one that we've created. Now, if you notice, it doesn't do it properly at first. Don't worry. Go to gradient and change it from the apply gradient within the stroke to apply gradient across the stroke. There we go. And you might be thinking that's pretty much done it already. So if that looks good to you, then that's fine. All I do is then select it, Command-C, Command-Shift-V, which pastes another one in the same spot, and then I press I and color drop this white one. And all that does is bring a bit more of the focus back in. So rather than it just being that, it's got a sharp light to it. And you can mess around with the weight of that stroke if you like, but I quite like that effect. Now, that's the shortcut version. You can now apply it to anything you want because you've done it a couple of times. If you want to draw a star, and you can literally color drop that one, change it to that, then Command-C, Command-Shift-V, color drop that, and that's it. So now you've done it once, you can do it on whatever you like. You want to try polygons, it's the same process each time. You're just repeating what we've done. This process falls down when you try and add breaks in the neon, okay? So some people like to add these breaks in. If you just direct select your white stroke and hit P, and I had three paths in there. Now select your middle one, edit. So we've broken that one, which is fine. If you select your color gradient in the background and do the same thing, so 1, 2, 3, delete that middle one, and drag these points up there, what you'll see is you get this sharp edge, and there's no way around that in the stroke settings. So the only solution is to select that color background, select that one, and then Effect, Blur, Gaussian Blur. And somewhere on these scales around 15 for your Gaussian Blur should do the trick. It looks okay, maybe a little bit more. We'll bump it up to 30 and see what that looks like. So there you can see it's helped out with the breaks. If anything, you might want to lock that. And we'll just move these points up a bit. Let's see if that looks better. Yeah, that looks a bit better. So there you have a shortcut and a different way to do it if you want to put breaks in. But if you do in one continuous shape, and it's dead easy. It's a white stroke and then this apply gradient across the stroke. Very useful. So one other thing, if you unlock everything, so just Command-Shift-2 and select the background and your neon shapes, you can then go up to Edit Colors, Recolor Artwork, and click on Edit here. Click this little lock, which is Link Harmony Colors, and then you can move all these colors to somewhere else. So there you go, you change it to purple, you can move it around to green, and it's very easy to change the color. Hope that helped. See you again soon. Cheers.